again, welcome. My name's Kathy A, and today I thought I would go over my February faves and flops, and these are mostly makeup items and there's a couple of other things, little things. Thank you again to all of you who wrote in what you assumed about me, and I put that in the assumption tag. I'm going to start with skincare and things like that. The first thing, washing my brushes. Everybody said that this was better than the Zote soap. The Zote soap you can get at Walmart for 97 cents for a bar. You can get it online. I think it's $1.20 online for the Zote soap. And that's in with the detergents because it's considered a laundry detergent. It's good with textiles. And actually your brushes, the synthetic ones, are kind of like textiles. So it works really well cleaning brushes. So everybody said this is better. This is Dr. Bronner's all-in-one pure Castile soap, and I got the full, there's a couple different flavors. I got the hemp peppermint soap, and it makes my brushes smell a little like peppermint. It's kind of nice, actually. I didn't think it worked as well as the Zote soap, but in any case, when I had a stubborn stain on a brush, like the foundation brushes always get kind of stained, I use a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of Dawn dishwashing detergent and the soap. And it got it clean the same way, but I think it was easier using the Zote soap. I like the smell of this one better. So it's true, it does work nicely on cleaning brushes in general, but not as good as the Zote soaps. I was excited to see a new line of products from CERAVE, or CERAVE, I'm not sure how you're saying it, but CERAVE is the drugstore brand of choice for skincare. I think they make such terrific products. They're not as expensive as going high-end, but yet they have high-end ingredients. This was disappointing, and I'll tell you why. This is the Hydrating Micellar water, and it got my makeup off really well. Eye makeup, mascara, everything. Did really good job at it, but it stung the heck out of my eyes. It was a stingy formulation, and when I went to my makeup table after I had washed my face and everything and used this to get the eye makeup off, my eye was red on the right, and I thought this is the only thing I used to get that. So it's too strong. It gets the makeup out, but it's too strong for sensitive eyes, and so you know, double-edged sword here. It may work for people who have less sensitive eyes, but if you're taking mascara off, it does get very close to your eyeball, and you will get some of it into your eyeball. So if it's irritating me, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to use this. So I think other micellar waters work better than this without the stinging. So this was a fail, unfortunately. I am loving this. This is supposedly the sample size. I think it's bigger than the sample size, but it's the Fresh is the brand, Rose Deep Hydrating Face Cream, and I love the smell of roses. So it is scented, so if you don't like scent in your moisturizer, you won't like this, but I love this. This is it's beautiful. It comes in a thick glass jar, and it's just yummy. It smells like a fresh bouquet of roses. I love it. It's very, very hydrating, plumping. It does make your skin look and feel soft. It's just a wonderful product. So I like Fresh Soy Cleanser also. So I think they're a very age-friendly kind of brand. But this is the Rose Deep Hydrating Moisturizer Cream, and it's really wonderful. So I've been enjoying that this month. Elf. Elf. Boy, did they screw up. Man, they just shut their doors overnight of all their retail stores, and all those poor folks who relied on that income and were working there didn't get any kind of warning at all. Just got duped. They went into work and it was closed. And apparently they're not real nice people to work for. They're kind of the Walmart of cosmetics, and I'm really surprised. This is like the underdog I wanted to believe in. This is the thing that Jeffree Star caused a big sensation over because the Tatcha primer, putty primer, is just like this, and this is the e.l.f. poreless putty primer. Now if you have really, really dry skin, I'm not sure you're going to like this because it does cling to any dry patches that you have. If you have like patches on your nose, it's really good for pore filling. And if you have some uneven texture, it's very good at filling in the deep lines. So it's very good for that. And I'm sure the Tatcha is very similar. I saw a couple of reviews. Our gal over there from Geek Out of Water, she reviewed this. She always does very nice detailed reviews. She mentioned that this side didn't seem to keep the pigmentation of products on as well as the Tatcha side, and she had both of them side by side. I like it. It isn't my favorite primer, but I think it worked fine in, you know, hiding the pores and also in filling in some of the lines. But again, because it had dry skin, it didn't work for me as an all-over face primer. And it is always good to have a primer underneath your foundation because it gives you that little layer of, it's kind of like putting spackling on a lumpy wall. It kind of smooths it out so that when you put the final paint on, i.e. your makeup, it'll go on smoother. So yeah, it works okay for wrinkles and texture and a little bit of pores, but if you have dry skin, it will cling to your dry skin patches, and it seems to dry down almost to a dry finish. Sephora. I'm telling you, I had to wait for my birthday order almost 2 weeks. When you are a rouge at Sephora, they give you the choice at the beginning of the year. Do you want 750 points that you can apply towards free products, or do you want the 2-day flash shipping? When you are a rouge, you automatically get free shipping, but they used to just give us the free 2-day shipping, and they don't do that anymore. It must have been very expensive for them. But man, it's taken forever to get an order in it. It did. It took almost 2 weeks to get my birthday order, and my husband Bud gave me a Sephora gift card for my birthday, and I couldn't wait. You know, I had it all on one order. I still had to pay a few bucks extra on top of it because it was like, oh boy, you know. So when I finally got that birthday order in, I was like, I almost forgot what I bought. You know, anyway. Okay, so Makeup Forever. This was one of the perky things that I got. This is the smoothing primer. And I wanted to like this. Little dimethicone. It just seemed to disappear so quickly. I couldn't tell if it was on my face, and it dried so fast I had to use a lot to cover my face. And it seemed like I had to use a lot more product than I was comfortable with to cover my face. I don't think it worked any better than anything else, although it did seem to feel smoother. My skin felt smoother. It didn't cling to dry patches, but I think it's very expensive for having to use so much of it to make it work. So Makeup Forever Step 1, it was kind of a fail for me, only for that, but it does make your skin feel smooth. And I know that that's what primer's supposed to do, but you know, I don't want 5 applications from a $40 tube. So yeah. Now speaking of Sephora, I just had a birthday in February, and as you know, Ulta gives you a birthday gift and Sephora gives you a birthday gift. Now I'm a diamond level in Ulta, and I am a rouge, which is the high level in Sephora. That just means I spent way too much money, and I went over that in the Assumptions video, and you hear some horrible, shocking things about me there. Sephora gives you a choice. You can get Drunk Elephant series of different products, or you can get the Kat Von D products. And in here is a lipstick sampler, which I thought was really good, the studded lipstick sampler. You also get a mini Trooper black liner, which is a wonderful eyeliner. And you get some of the locket powder in a neutral shade. And I just thought this was a wonderful gift for a birthday. Thank you, Sephora. That was very nice. They don't have to give you a birthday gift. Segue into Ulta. Ulta gave, and this is not a reflection on the person on the cover. It is the product itself. It is from NYX, and it is, I didn't even open it because I'm giving it away. This is the lip lingerie in the most butt ugly color they could find. It's like purple. I will look like you need to check my pulse if I put this on. It's very, very grayish purple. It is totally not my color, totally not. And I would say at least any of the light skin gals who are over 40, you know, if you try this on your lips and you're over 40, no, they're gonna put a toe tag on you. It's just really bad. And it was like, that's it? Okay, you know, like a pretty blush or an eyeliner. I mean, it's something that's a little more neutral to use would have been a better choice. An ugly ass lipstick. Come on, Ulta. Speaking of ugly packaging, this is the Rimmel's Stay Matte powder. And what I did was I was in the Dollar Tree of all places, and they had these left over from Valentine's Day. Look what I did. I smushed up all the powder out of my Rimmel's Stay Matte powder, and it's all in here. And now I can use it either with my finger or I can use a brush in it, but I crushed it up with a mortar and pestle and I put it in this. But you can find any vessel, that's a pretty little jar of some sort, and just put that Rimmel Stay Matte powder in there. I mean, anything that you don't like the packaging, you can put it in your own packaging by depotting it, and it's very easy to depot this stuff. So I have it in here, and it's much more of a pleasure, and I feel like I'm doing much more of a luxurious thing with my powder when I go into this. And this is from the Dollar Tree. I mean, they had, it was a Valentine's thing, there's a little heart there. I'm sure it was made for jewelry or something else, but I think it's a perfect place to put face powder. So that's what I did with that. And just to give you an idea, you can use any antique little jar that has a top on it, but that's what you can do with those cheapy powders. You don't want it, because I hate the packaging. It's so cheap and awful. Ugh. So this came out, I was quite excited about it. This is a new Touche Eclat Radiant Touch. This is a new concealer from YSL. And I know there's lots of people on here who love to do YSL, and they just stay with the higher brands. And I'm always looking at the cheapy stuff, trying to find dupes for things. But I really like this. I have this on now, and it really cancels out darkness, and it does not crease. It just looks beautiful underneath. What I do is I tend to draw like a little Raggedy Ann line, and then I press it in like this with my ring finger, and it just stays so nicely. After I do the other eye, then I go in with my powder and I lift the powder and I'm putting in there. And who was it? Sabrina, she was saying you should look up when you're doing your under eye concealer, because the way it stretches the skin up helps you so that all the little folds and things under your eye don't pool with the concealer in them. And I think that's a great advice. Yeah, just do that to the other side. I think this is a wonderful one. Is number 1, Radiant Touch Rose Lumiere. Luminous Radiance is the name of this particular one. And it is kind of a light pink color. Let's see if I can. It is a light pink color. It's a very light pinky peach. It's a very brightening shade, and I just love how it goes in, because if you go too light with a concealer, it can give you that kind of white raccoony look, white raccoon circles. So I try to stay away from that. As a concealer, I think this is my new favorite concealer. I think it works really well. It lasts all day, but the fact that it doesn't pool into the little ridges, and it doesn't make that lacy look, you know, it looks like you put a piece of lace and some powder and just made all these little lines. As long as you pat these things out, and also I know in the Marriott lines, after you put your foundation on, you do need to pat out that and then put some powder over the top right away before it sets, so that you can get that. You keep it from pooling in those wrinkles and lines. You don't want your foundation or your concealer to pool in the lines or make lace look. So excellent is the YSL. Alright, now this one I know you're going to be interested in my take on this, because this is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation. Now, I've seen everybody from Tati to Angie at Hot and Flashy review this, and a lot of people love this. I did not, and it's because when I first put it on, and the pump is fine, you know, the product looks fine, the color, pretty good match, a little bit light for me. It initially went on well. It's heavily fragranced, which, you know, surprised me. It's a fragrance that it smells a little medicinal, a little perfumey. It's nothing that I can categorize, so I'm not good with scent. You have to watch Jeremy for that. Yeah, it goes on beautiful, and I thought, oh, well, this is what everybody's talking about. This is neat. And then, after I did my whole face, and I did it 3 different days, 3 different work days, because work is the best way for me to see how something goes. The first day, I put it on with my fingers, because they said you can do fingers, a brush, a buffing brush, or a sponge. So the first day I did just my fingers, and it seemed to work itself in really well. I think I used a little bit more, and then of course I had the mess on my hands I had to clean off with my makeup things. Initially it looked really nice, and then I looked closer, and in every single crack, in every single little dry patch all around my nose, it got this dry look. It looked cakey to me, and I hadn't really put that much on. They say you're not supposed to put too much of this on or it will get cakey, but it's supposed to be buildable to a medium full coverage. Well, I just put the first layer on and it was already cakey. Around my nose was cakey and dry. My marionette, or I call them the St. Bernard gels, really, really dry. It went right into the wrinkles, and I'm like, what are people talking about? Why do they like this? It looked like little powdery dots on my chin. And you know, I'm doing good skincare, and a lot of other foundations look fabulous on me. So it's not user error here. It is different skin reacts differently to it. This is why when somebody recommends a foundation to you, you got to make sure you have the same kind of skin they do, and you're somewhere in their age range. So, you know, like Angie's Botoxed and everything else, and she has kind of semi-oily skin with a little bit of dryness here and there. She has completely different skin than I do, so it's going to react different on her than on me. So I'm going to have to say it was a fail for me. I thought the price point was fairly good. The color range was fairly good. I didn't see a problem with it. It was hard to figure out which one of these shades was mine. Mine is 415. And I see people go, I'm 460 and I'm 406 and 405. And I was like, what the heck color am I? Because they're all over the place. If you go on there and look at all of the shades, it's like, I have no idea where I'm in, you know, with this. And this is like a medium light. There's a slightly, I thought it was neutral, is a slightly warm tone to it. And if you add a drop of oil, it seemed to go on best with the sponge for me, but it still had that thing where it went a little patchy, and it still went dry, and still made the dots. So this was a fail, unfortunately, so it is going to go back to the store because this was not working for me. And I have dry skin, older skin. I take good care of it. I exfoliate. You know, I have times of the month, I think, where my skin is a little drier than other times and I need to exfoliate a little bit more. I exfoliate every other day, so I'm not like neglecting skincare. So it's not me. It's just, it's not working with my skin type. So if you have problems with foundations, you know what I'm talking about. This is the Neutrogena Hydro Boost Hydrating Foundation Stick. I don't remember if I used this back when I did the cream foundation wars or not, but I wanted to try it again and give it another chance because I really like Neutrogena and I like to give them a chance. The coverage was really nice with this. This did migrate into lines. It didn't look as bad as I thought it would. This color, let's see what this color is. It is number 20, Natural Ivory. So it really wasn't a bad shade at all. It seemed to blend in nicely. Creamy, a little bit dry. It felt almost like the primer. It felt like almost like the touch of primer. So I didn't mind it, but I don't think it didn't have a very good staying power. and my chin went red and around my nose went red, and it just seemed to migrate off of my face and disappear, and it looked a little patchy by noontime. So I can't recommend this one, and I love Neutrogena. Some of their lip products are outstanding, and some of their face powders, but I can't recommend the cream stick, not for if you have dry skin. So I have the Laura Mercier on this side of my face. This is the Flawless Lumiere Radiance Perfecting Foundation. And I've just not really had luck with Laura Mercier foundations in the past. I don't think I'm the target audience, and shame on her because she's an older gal now too. I got the almond shade, which seems a little dark. I was really surprised because online with the pictures it looks lighter than it does in the bottle. It looks much darker than it appears on your skin, and it's blended in quite nicely. I don't look like I'm wearing too dark of a shade, although it is a little bit darker than my skin tone. I like it. This is another one that I really wanted to like. I think there is alcohol and fragrance in this one, if that's important to you. Yeah, it had a pretty good staying powder. Now this shade in the Laura Mercier is 2W 1.5 Bisque. So that's what it looks like in the bottle. It looks a little dark and a little yellow, almondy for me. But again, when you spread it out, it shears out and it really melds into your skin color. It's very forgiving. So even though it looks like it'd be darker, and you can always use one of those skin, lightener, darkener foundation thingies and add it in, and you can adjust it down a little bit. I don't see what all the hype was about it because I didn't think it was the best foundation I've ever used. Longevity, 4 or 5 hours. It wasn't long lasting. And that's big with me now because, again, at work I don't like to take time off to fuss with my makeup. I mean, I'll add some lipstick or powder a little bit, something. If my mascara is kind of, mushed out or made little dings, I take that off. But I don't like to redo my makeup during the day. And this, my chin is the big one because I'm on the phone and I think that's where it's rubbing it off. I don't know. And where I had eyeglasses on, red marks. So yeah, the Laura Mercier, it's a nice, pleasant, it is okay for dry skin, but I don't think the longevity's there. I just don't think it's worth it, and I don't think the target audience is over 40 for the Laura Mercier, so I can't recommend Laura Mercier either. Okay, do I like anything? Yes. I love this. This is new from YSL. This is the Touche Éclat All-in-One Glow, they call it. And I thought, oh, well, that'll be like a nice, under the makeup kind of glow thing. You can use this like makeup. Oh my gosh. This is the Cool Almond BR30 is the shade. Again, it looks dark, but when it shears out, it just mixes right in with your skin tone. And I did add a little bit of lightening to this. I have that on this side of my face. It is very nice. I think it beats out the IT Cosmetics CC Cream because it's in that CC Cream and BB Cream category. This is it. It's beautiful, beautiful on. The IT CC Cream has that strong citrus flavor. This one smells like fresh cucumbers. It's just a very nice, pleasant smell. So if I had to choose between the IT Cosmetics CC Cream or the Touche Éclat Glow, I would say the Glow is a better buy. It lasts all day, it didn't budge, it looks really pretty on the skin, it blends nicely, you can use it with your fingers, you can use it under your makeup, or you can just use it as makeup, and I think it's as strong a foundation as anything else. So this is what the tube looks like. And again, it looks dark for me, but when you mush it out, shear it out and everything, it blends nicely. It just gives me a little bit of color, a little bit of lift, because I look really fish belly white. That's my color, fish belly white. And this just takes me up, maybe I'd say half a shade to a shade darker. And I like that in that spring transition into spring, because I want to look a little more lively. So this is very nice. two primers I forgot about to talk about. This is the NYX Hydra Touch primer. It is the blue one, and I think this is new. Very, very hydrating primer, and it worked really well. It kept the makeup on really well during the day. My makeup didn't migrate, and especially I put an extra layer here over the top of my makeup and then put another layer of makeup, and you did not see my eyeglass lines, and I think that's really big with me right now because I have to wear my eyeglasses to see anything with print on it that's less than this big. And this worked really nicely. I thought, I don't hear anybody talking about this, I don't know if it's new or not, it's new to me. The blue tube, and it's just a very, very nice hydrating primer if you have dry skin. Let me put it on this hand because I've got so much stuff on the other thing. It is a light blue color, but it doesn't look like that. Once it's sheared into your skin, just feels like a really hydrating, water-based kind of. Yeah, there is a slight scent to it, slight light perfume scent. Give it a couple minutes to dry before you put your makeup on. Works wonderfully. I think this is a really lovely drugstore primer. Definitely worth, and it wasn't cheap. I think it was like $10, so it wasn't really cheap for a drugstore primer. I thought that was. Now it dries tacky, so it holds on to your makeup. And I like that. I thought it was great because it does hold on to your makeup and it plays well with others. So you can put any kind of makeup over the top of this and it will work fine. In the Dollar Tree, they brought them back again this year and I'm really pleased. This is the Beauty Benefits. This is a line of makeup, even though it's in Dollar Tree, it is Marquin's. And if you know your makeup history, Marquin's is Wet n Wild. Marquin's now owns Physicians Formula. So these blushes and these bronzers and highlighters are all in that same ilk. These aren't cheapy things made out in China. These are like really nice products. They're just repackaged to go into the Dollar Tree. So I especially like the blush. They don't really have colors, so to speak, and none of it makes sense. It seems to cater more towards the medium to darker skin tones. I had a hard time finding things that would work on my skin. The contour's a little bit ashy on me. I would say if you were a medium person, this would look nice with a cool undertone. The highlighter is extremely subtle, really subtle. You don't even notice it. But the blush is very nice, and for $1. So Beauty Benefits, and that's from the Dollar Tree. And they're very inexpensive, but they are made by a very good company. This is Just Blushing from LA Girl, and I think this is the Just Playful. Yeah, Just Playful. I had seen Elle Leary talk about this. I think it was her, or it was Lisa J. This is very pigmented blush, but it's also very, very pretty and neutral. Some of these in the pan, they don't look like anything, but when you put them on, they're just really pretty. And LA Girl is a very inexpensive line. This would cost you probably around $4 for this. And there's a ton of product in there. It's pigmented, lasts all day, and the colors are very nice. This is a really pretty, kind of a neutral color. The new Wet n Wild collection has these eyeshadows. I'm not a fan. Not a fan. It's got a doe foot applicator, which is a little awkward to use as a eyeshadow. It is a glossy looking color, so you can only, you have to limit kind of where it shows up. You have to let it dry a little bit. I'm not a fan of these. And single colors to me, they get thrown in the back of the drawer and I forget about them. I think unless they're in a palette. The same thing happened with this. This is the chocolate cream. This is a REVLON product, and if you pull this out, it's kind of neat. If you pull out part of the little case here, you get a little brush. And it's got, you can, do a little flat line or you can shadow it. Let me just put this here. This is called Chocolate. And it's a very pretty cream shadow. I would say not this. I would use a brush to put it on the lid. I would use this maybe to draw in a little line if I was really hard up for equipment, if I was traveling or something. Not very hygienic. You got to put it back in to the bottom of this, and then you have to keep this tightly closed or it dries up. But that is from Revlon, and it does last really well, and you can smush it out and shear it out once you first put it on, but I don't have a lot of control with this unless I use a brush. So again, and another thing, when it's single colors, they wind up in the back of the drawer. So it's nice. Chocolate also has a color number, I think. Yeah, the chocolate one is number 720, in case you're looking for it online or something, but it has a really good staying power. I would use it on the last third of the lid and then work with powders around it. So, I mean, you can work with it that way. You can also line your eyes with it, but yeah, I don't know. I tried a few brow products and I was pretty pleased with this one. This is the Urban Decay Brow Endowed, and I got this as a sample because I didn't want to shell out the dough for a full size just yet. They have an extreme amount of colors, which is very nice. It's a dual-ended product, which gives you some options, some color options. So one side is extremely strong, light brown color. This is the blonde, I believe, the cool blonde I think I got. And then this one is the lighter shade that goes with it. There's not a whole lot of controller. I think I still prefer a pencil with a little bit of a spoolie after with some pomade or something on it. This is nice. I think it's nicer than the Benefit one. It's good to try this sample, so if you're able to get the perk for this and try it, I would do so. Because of the color range is so odd. This light color is really light. The taupe is fine. It tends to go a little dark on me. So I wish I could find something between those two because there's too big of a jump there in the color shades. So this is the Gimme Brow, and they sent me 3 of them. I only ordered 1. This is from Benefit, and this is a lot of people, this is their favorite brow product. Now I have it right up here. It's a very strong tint, so it does work nicely to tint over any white or gray hairs you have in your eyebrows. But you don't have that pencil control where you can actually draw in a nice brow with little wispies. You can probably get creative with the little wand on here, but and this is this color, which is I think a cool blonde color, number 1. It's number 1. But I think this is going to go back because I didn't like it at all. Not at all. The Tattoo Studio from Maybelline. This is a brow pomade, and this is the lightest shade that they had, which is a taupe color, and they do give you a nice brush, and I'm going to just draw on there. See how dark that is? And then you can smush it with the brush on the other end. It's very dark, and this is the lightest shade. It's a universal taupe, they call it. If it could just be a little bit lighter, I probably would like it. Again, we have a situation where you can actually draw in your brows using the pomade, which I do like. The color's just a little bit dark. It does stain and it stays there. The color goes on a little bit darker than what it is once you brush through it. So I think that what I would do is just use a pencil, you know, like the NYX Micro Brow or the Anastasia Brow Wiz. And then use the spoolie on there. I see those as being great, and then I just use my Essence Make Me Brow in the blonde, and that goes over the individual white hairs and gray hairs. So this was a fail for me only because it was just so darn dark, and it's the lightest shade. Now Neutrogena put out these new gel eyeliners, and they're really good. I had wanted a gray one because I'd lost mine or I gave it away or something happened, but I don't have a gray one, and I love gray eyeliners. I think they're the most flattering. This is Smoky Gray, number 20, And boy, does this have some wonderful lasting power. When you first put it on, you have to use a little brush to smear it out right away. Now it is a stick form of eyeliner right here, and you want to smush it right away because it holds. This is going to be on my arm the rest of the day. This is a beautiful eyeliner, absolutely beautiful. I would get other colors in this. I think this is just one of the most perfect gray, charcoal gray eyeliners I've ever used. And it has great staying power. You can go really thin with it. You can smoke it out a little bit on your eyeline. Absolutely beautiful. And that is from Neutrogena. And they have several colors of these. And I'm really glad I got that because it's one of my favorites. Going into mascara. You know I had to try it. You know I had to try it. This is the L'Oreal's Unlimited Mascara. This is the regular. They do have a blue box that looks like this. That is the waterproof version of this. Now this is supposed to be length, volume, everything, and you know where I'm going, right? You know where I'm going with this. It's got a funky inkwell looking kind of tube. That is the only thing that's unique about this. It did nothing for me. It did nothing. It didn't volumize that well. It didn't lengthen very well. It was easy to use it as far as getting into, you know, my inner lashes without making little dings on my eyes. And the mascara did last a while, but it was nothing special at all. I think their Lash Paradise was better than this in the formulation and in the brush. This was just, it's gimmicky because of the shape. You think, oh, it's got to be better if it's got a shape like Genie in the bottle, right? Nah, this one's going back. I just didn't think there was anything special about it. I think I look for really good volumizing, good lengthening mascaras, and this just didn't do it. So the Unlimited mascara from L'Oreal was a fail for me, and I did give it a try. I did. I tried a couple different days at work. It didn't leave dings on the upper eye, which is good. I mean, but it just didn't get enough volume, enough lift with that. Hello, L'Oreal. Yeah. Enhanced with lash extensions. And I gave it a try, even though this kind of thing pisses me off. They are cheating. They're making this girl's lashes look like all you have to do is put this mascara on and your lashes will look like this. And they even say in their own ad, lashes have extensions. They're enhanced with extensions. They are not just the product. So, boo, boo, L'Oreal, boo. Watching Tati, and I should know better because the last mascara I bought because of Tati I hated. She was talking about the collab, which is that it's a collaboration between several different YouTubers. They started a makeup line and they all contributed to selection of the product and the formulations and the colors and everything. And I trust a lot of their stuff is very good, and I did do a special on collab. I'll put it at the end. This is one of the mascaras. They have three, I think they have three different mascaras. They have a turquoise one, they have a blue one, and then they have this pink one. And Tatiana, said that the pink one was her absolute favorite. So I had to try it. And I think I had tried one of the other formulations when I did the collab special. But this is the Works, it's called. It's Wow Effect All-in-One Mascara. Unfortunately, I don't think it was very wow for me. The tube is nice, it feels good. The actual brush is one of those thick Caterpillar round brushes. I mean, it works okay. It gets a little bit on the crispy side, a little bit on the clumpy side. You do have to use like a lash comb after you use it. Now, it did give me some length, it did give me some volume, it did last the whole day, so she was right about that. But as far as being the best mascara out there, no. And it's about maybe $13 or $14, so it's not bad. I would say, you know, her taste in mascara, I don't know why, because I think she uses false lashes all the time. Maybe she doesn't notice how good or bad her mascara is. I don't know, but this one didn't do it for me. And the actual brush itself, I don't like that kind of caterpillar shaped brush because it's a little bit big and clunky to get close to my eye. And yeah, it went a little bit crispy on me. So no on the works. And I'll try the light blue tube that she recommended also. There was another one there that she recommended. Okay, getting into eyeshadow palettes. As you know, Hush.com had their big sale, a really big sale. And it was 50% off, and if they're still open and they still have this, do get this. This is the Bad Habit Dream State palette. It is so wonderful. I like it better than my Viseart Shimmers palette, the Pro 2. This is a beautiful palette. And this is not a standalone palette. This is a palette that you actually use. Look at this. You use it to punch up your look. It is, especially this green and this blue and this purple and this olive green are just stunning. Oh my god, I love every one of these colors and I use them in different eye looks. But what I do is I do a basic matte neutral eye, and then I will take one of these colors, like this green, and I will just punch it up right in the center there. Nothing else, just that. Punch it up in the center there and let go. And it just adds such a beautiful shimmer to whatever eye look I have. If you use I'm using the blue here as an eyeliner, but the green and the blue go so nicely together in this beautiful light turquoise. This is a gorgeous complementary palette. If you have a neutral palette and you just use it every day and that's all you need, that's great. I wish I could do that. I'm not there yet. This is a great complement to it because all of these shades, beautifully pigmented, they last, teeny bit of fallout. Some of them do have a little bit of micro glitter in them, but this is just a gorgeous palette for whatever low cost it is. And Bad Habit palettes usually only cost about $10 or so. They're very cheap. This is a beautiful one, and this one isn't, I don't believe this is a dupe for anything. Most of the Bad Habit palettes, they imitate Huda Beauty or Anastasia or Natasha Denona. They imitate other brands, but this one is their own, I believe. This is Dream State, and it's beautiful. If you use the code SPRING50, you will get a 50% off discount on the shophush.com website if they still have any inventory left. I don't know, because everybody's been just going over there. Luna palette, of course, is a wonderful palette. That's like the Norvina palette in Anastasia. Absolutely gorgeous. And we have the Mythos and the Mayhem palettes. Those are just like the Mothership palettes. Oh my gosh. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. These are things, you know, if you don't like the palette they're imitating, don't get the fake just because it costs less. But what I do is I take colors from these that are complementary. You know, I'll just use like this green, you know, and nothing else. I don't use these palettes as standalone palettes. They're complementary. So, and they tell you, you know, they're pressed pigments on one side, so use your finger and use a brush on the other side. So I have those from there. Retro Love is the infamous Subculture palette. And I love this. This has one of my favorite shades in it. I didn't like Subculture. I was one of the people who returned mine because it was so softly packed that when you put your brush in, it kind of destroyed it, and it was it was too loosely packed. And I know that the newer versions of Subculture, they're pressed in a little bit, but I love this one. And this is Bad Habits version of Subculture. And this green is one of my favorite to line or to have in the corner of my eyes. It's just a beautiful shade. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. And it's kind of a dark, kind of a cool tone green. And it just looks beautiful with blue eyes. Absolutely gorgeous. And the pigmentation is wonderful. These lighter shades like this pop of green, look at that. Let's see if that goes right on top there. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, Bad Habit is quite a good brand, and they do, even though they do imitate other brands, they do have high quality shadows for a discount price. So if you're really on a budget, and I'm really on a budget right now, this is a wonderful thing to do. Artistry is the Mario palette, the Mario Master palette, which Anastasia Beverly Hills put out and then discontinued. And they shouldn't, because this is a very, very doable, user-friendly palette. It's got a lot of good basics in there and nice shimmers. It's a really good all-around palette. So comparing it with the Mario, this is Bad Habit and Artistry. Okay, enough of the cheap stuff. Let's go into the big girl store. This is Marc Jacobs, and this is the Iconic palette. This was one of my birthday gifts from my husband. It is the Glambition. And Marc Jacobs palettes are so quality. They have this nice black paper here that you can hold over the mirror conveniently. This one is your good basic palette. It has a light color for your base, a neutral transition, a dark for the corners, and then it has some shimmers for the lid and also a shimmer for eyeliner. This has got a little bit of everything in there. And he has some great color stories in his palettes. And it was my first Marc Jacobs eye palette, and I really do like it. And I think that there's some quality here. Really beautiful, buttery. Now, lip palettes. I thought I would love this. This is something that... This is the Anastasia lip palette, and this is volume 1. And what it is a bunch of waxy lip pigments. And they give you a brush and they give you a palette. And if you take a blob out of each of the things and stir it together, you come up with different colors. In theory, this seems like an ideal world. It's just wonderful. You can, I can make my own personal lipstick color. Well, let me tell you, it's not so much fun. I went into all of these colors. Now, these are the base shades. Now, they look very dark and very extreme, but you can take a touch of this and add a little bit, and it makes it a little more purpley magenta. But if you add white to it, it's a light shade, so you get a light mauvey magenta. I mean, you can really play around with color experimentation and get these beautiful shades out of here. You can take them on their own with the brush, you know, just dip into it and then just put it on your lips if you want, but that's not the idea. This palette is made to be like an artist palette. It is meant to you are meant to take this plate, take one of these and stick it in here, and then take one of the other shades and stick it with it, and then mix them together for the new color. And that's more what it's supposed to be. So it's got some really dark blacks and blues, and I can tell you the black will make black. It doesn't make any other shade, it just makes black. So you might as well just keep it where it is, because when I mixed the black with anything, it was black. It was just black as black. So I didn't try every single one. I didn't go into the blue yet. I think the blue mixed in with something, maybe the light orange or something, might make an interesting color, but I'm not having as much fun with this as I thought. And one of the main things is like, I love this color here. I don't know how I made it. I forgot how I made it, and I'll never get this color again. I'll get something close, but I won't get this color again. So this, it's nice if you don't know what color lipstick will look good on you, and you can always like make a color that looks good on you and take this card into the store and say, can you match this shade? You know, match this shade here. And they're all matte. What is this with matte lipsticks? I hate matte lipsticks. And these all pan out to be kind of matte shades. So it's kind of an interesting concept. I love the whole idea of it, but in actual functionality, it's not working out for me at all. I'd rather just have a bullet tube. So it does give you a scooper for the stuff and a brush to place it on your lips. And you get this mixing tray which is very nice, and you can wash that off with makeup remover. I left this stuff on so you could see how I made this shade by putting the brown, the orange, the white, and the yellow together. Came up with this shade. So it's fun in a way. I think it would be really fun if you had a lot of time on your hands. I really don't have a lot of time on my hands, so this is kind of a fail for me. But I tried. I had to try. Fenty Beauty. This is the Gloss Bomb, and the color is Fussy, and everybody said this was wonderful, and it's the best gloss formulation they've ever seen. And this is Fussy. It's very pretty. There is a scent to it. It's kind of a candy scent, but I found the same love here in these, and these are half the price or less than half the price. And these are the Milani Plumping Lip Gloss, and you can find something so close to it right here in the Milani line. This one is the Nude Shimmer, but it's just like the Fussy in it's kind of a dupe for the Fussy in the Fenty Beauty. And of course, you know these are expensive. It's what, $24 I think they are, and these are what, $6, $7. So for a third of the price or a quarter of the price, you can get something so close. And I actually like the formulation better on the Milani because it does plump your lips a little bit. So it is a nice formula. Little hint of mint there. I prefer the mint flavor over the candy flavor. I think this, the packaging is nice, the color's pretty, but I prefer this. And there's some beautiful colors here. So I would definitely recommend the Milani over the top of the Fenty line. And some people are going to hate me for that, but I'd rather save the money and have something either just as good or even better. And the shade selection of these are really nice and very, very subtle. But they do a little bit of plumping, and I like that part. L'Oreal did do something right. These are the silky lip colors. It's kind of a lip ink paint. I'm going to show you that. It's just beautiful on. This formulation, it doesn't feel like anything I've ever used in lip products. This is absolutely beautiful. It does dry to a semi-matte though, and again, the matte thing, I hate the matte thing. The only thing with matte is that it's not overly sticky, and it doesn't have as much transfer. But the this particular one is just gorgeous. This will look nice on them, and it makes a great base. This particular shade, Empower, makes a great base to put another like shimmer over the top or whatever. It's just a very nice work kind of gloss. I'm loving these from Physicians Formula. Loving them and hating them at the same time. I have 4 different shades. These are those new butter Muru butter glosses. Now they look seemingly like lipsticks, but when you put them on, they're kind of watery, oily. It's very weird. I have Pinkini is this one, and then we have this one, which is Brazilian Sunset, I believe. And then, and see, they get kind of greasy looking on the tube. I don't like the distribution. I wish it had a slightly thinner distribution top because it looks so big and it's kind of clunky. This one is Flamingo. And then this last one, this is Brazilian Sunset. Okay, so this one is more of the warm toned. So they all come up really nicely. They're very, very moisturizing. If you have chapped lips this winter, these are your perfect lipstick because you get the color, you get that moisturizing look and glossy kind of look, and they last really well and they feel good on the lips. I do like these very much, the Muru Butter Physicians Formula, and I like these particular 4 colors, the Pinkini, the Flamingo, Brazilian Sunset, And then that last one, which is Soaking Up the Sun, is the last one. So these are fairly new from Physicians Formula. Definitely worth checking out. Really, really nice. While getting the collab mascara over at Sally's Beauty, because they're the ones who sell them, I checked, you know, they have those little mini makeup things on a little rack as you're checking out, and I got 2 of the lipsticks, and they're so very different. You can't tell what you're getting with these, and they're sealed, and there's no way to know. Let me show you. This first one is like, it's a waxy cream lipstick, and it's actually quite good. It's called Passion, and it's a waxy cream kind of matte. And then this one is called In the Nude, and it's a shimmery kind of frosty color. It doesn't look nude to me. It's very frosty. It reminds me of shades my mom used to wear in the 70s. So it's hard to tell if you're getting a cream shade or a shimmer shade with these little mini things, and they look a little bit stronger, brighter in real life than they do in the tube. So they're only like $1.99, so I thought I'd try a couple of them, but I don't think I could recommend them. I didn't like either one of these, and I wanted to because they're so cheap and because they supposedly mimic more expensive lipsticks. These are the liquid Catsuits from Wet n Wild, and there is this one. They go on a little bit dry, and they dry down to matte, and I'm just so sick of matte lipsticks. Oh, good God. Here they are. And this one. Now these mimic something new, I want to say from Clinique. This kind of brownish one is called Send Nudes, and then this one is Peach Stole My Look. So we have these two. They dry down kind of dry and patchy. I'm not a fan of these Catsuits, and other people rave about them, but for some reason, the only thing I'll say about them is the longevity is there. But when I put other things over the top of them, it tended to break them down and destroy them, and you could see your own lip coming through, and there's little lines. So they did that with a gloss over the top. So I just think they're a fail. Just a fail. This is the Revlon Ultra HD Matte Lip, and I did like a lot of the Revlon products. This one, I think it's just the color. It has the same smell to it, but it's the color. It's a little too pinky cool tone for me. And it goes into a velvet matte shade. It's a velvet matte. And it didn't look good on me, so it would look good on somebody else who has more of a cool tone and loves those kind of pinky mauve-y colors. But it didn't look good on me. And it's a little brighter than it appears in the tube. Now this one is from Bare Minerals, and it's called Kitty. And it is a very pretty neutral pink kind of color, really good for work. Out of the General Nudes collection, this is probably one of my favorites. It's just so beautiful on, and I am wearing it. So it's a little bit of shine, a little bit of hydration, a little bit of color, not over the top. It's not overly bright, but it adds just enough to your look so that you look pulled together without looking like you're wearing a lot of makeup. So this is very age friendly, and it's from the General Nudes collection in Bare Minerals. Comes in a black box. Really, really nice. Last thing I want to talk about is from Too Faced. This is from the Rich collection. You know, a lot of people misunderstand what this is all about. It is actually paying homage to the Real Housewives. This is actually, all of these expressions and names and everything all have to do with the Rich Real Housewives. And this is Polite Lips. And this is it says a Tear If You Dare warning, explicit sexy lip kit. Well, and then it's signed by one of the characters on the Real Housewives. So it's all about the TV show and what that stands for. It's not Jared saying rich is better. Come on. That's not, you know, and I think people misunderstood that. And they're going, oh, rich isn't better. They're, you know, it's like, no, it's the TV show. It's, calm down. It's the TV show. So I carefully took this out. This is a lip liner and a colored gloss combo. This particular shade is Polite Lips. And the liner's quite nice. I mean, it's very creamy. See, thusly. Now, when I wore this, and I'm going to show you a picture of me close up because I couldn't believe what it did after half an hour. It doesn't look like much on my arm, but it's a very pretty, oh, let me put it on. It's a very pretty, shimmery, light peach color. And it goes perfectly with this lip liner. You can see it's just gorgeous. So you get this pretty shimmer. It's a very sex kitten of the 70s kind of look. And the only thing I'll have to say is that it does not stay. It gets all wrinkly. If you have texture in your lips, like I have wrinkly lips and I have chapped lips, so it went right into the lines. The chapped lips showed through, and then it made that infamous line, the white line that goes on the inside of your mouth. Just on the inside of your mouth. You ever open your mouth sometimes and there's this like white line from the lip gloss? Well, it does that. And so unfortunately this is going back. But I did think the color was awfully pretty, and it is Erica Jane, I think is the name of the character, who this is supposed to mimic her lips, Polite Lips. So explicit. Oh my goodness. Anyway. So Too Faced, that was a fail, and they just need to improve upon their lip products a little bit for me. I think that was just a real shame that it didn't work because I love the color. One last dupe I want to talk about. I ran out of Pillow Talk, which was my Charlotte Tilbury lip liner. And I had seen somewhere, and I apologize again, I don't remember who it was, they said that Jordana Tawny was a exact dupe for Pillow Talk in Charlotte Tilbury. So I went into Walgreens, and sure enough, it's a dupe. It is a dupe for Pillow Talk. So if you are in the Walgreens, it's $2.99 and you get more product. This is an exact dupe for Pillow Talk from Charlotte Tilbury. So poor people unite. This is Pillow Talk from Charlotte Tilbury, but it's Jordana. And you can find it online also. I think they sell it like at Walmart or whatever. You can find it in the Walgreens and online at Walgreens. From Europe, you may want to go online to see if you can find it. Jordana, and that color is called Tawny. And it looks beautiful on. I wear it almost every day because I love Pillow Talk, and I wore it down to a nib to where I couldn't sharpen it anymore. And this is wonderful, wonderful. Okay, Elle magazine. Now look at this one. She looks like she's drunk, standing there, trying to get her composure. Delicious hat. And I saw one of these in Target. I was like, oh my God, please don't make this a thing. This is like Gidget's hat from 1965. Do you remember that show, Gidget, with Sally Field? LaRue used to wear a hat like that, I think it was. Okay, this I have to show you because I'm really proud of myself for thinking of it. These are my brush holders, but they are, do you recognize them? They're candle holders. So I found these in Walmart, of all places, and they hold my brushes. Isn't that neat? It's so pretty, and it looks pretty on your vanity, and it holds everything really well. I hope all of you are having a wonderful week, and have a beautiful day. Take care. Toodles.